Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be posting the video of my gameplay on the Fear Monday. Yesterday was just way too hectic and it was bad time. So I figured I would do a small review on the Land of Make-Believe. My experience was not good at all. I figured that the pamphlet that I had gotten from my aunt, she gave me the idea of actually going, would have had all the rules and regulations on how the place was run. So I read it, and that night I decided to just pack up all my daughter's stuff. Water toys, water buckets, and a life vest that I had gotten her. Well, we go there, and it's like an hour and a half drive. It's not, it's not bad, but it was a pretty lengthy drive, especially when you have a 3-year-old. And we actually, when we get there, there's a huge sign with tons of things that you can't do. So I get to the place where you're supposed to pay. I prop my bag down, and the woman who's charging me can clearly see that I have water buckets, and I have my daughter's flotation device. So she didn't say nothing, but I did see that there was no refunds actually on the glass. I figured that was because if you actually use the band that they give you, the actual armband, wristband that they give you, it's invalid, obviously, because you just used it. So I handed her the money, and I was going to go right in. First, my mother-in-law heads in. Now she's got the water buckets. The ladies who were in the front was actually pretty rude to me and my mother-in-law. When I actually met up with my mother-in-law, she was throwing away the buckets. And I was like, what's going on? What happened? And she was like, oh, they said that we can't bring the buckets into the park, so I'm just throwing them away. I was like, whatever, there are Dollar Tree buckets. I don't care. So then I actually had the flotation device, the life vest on my daughter, and I was holding her hand because I actually, I put it on before I was making my way over to the gate. The woman was just like, you cannot have a life vest for your daughter. You're gonna have to put it back into your car. Now, my car was pretty much the third to last car, so I would have had to walk all the way back to my car. That's the reason why we threw away our buckets. I mean, just, it pissed me off. And on top of all that, it wasn't even the fact that I had to walk. It was just the fact that, I wanted to feel safe. I wanted my daughter to be safe. I mean, when you go to a water park, no one should have to hassle you on safety precautions. So the woman looked at me as I said, listen, I don't even want to come into the park because you guys, don't even want us to put safety devices on our kids. So the woman goes, "Oh my God, it's just a foot of water." Just like that. And then shows me what a foot of water looks like. I don't need to know, I don't need you to teach me what a foot of water is. That's number one. Okay, and number two, my daughter is a 3-year-old. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be there for her, but stuff happens. Your kids go peace out and start running, and you got to catch up to them. There are so many kids there, you might lose sight of your kid. So what happens if someone decides to push your kid and happens to hit their head? A foot of water is a lot of water, especially if you're on your face or on your back. I actually had the flotation device that can prop your head up so you don't drown. But other than that, like, I was like, listen, I just want a refund. I know you guys said there's no refunds, but I didn't use these bands. So I go back over to the woman who charged me, and I said, listen, I don't want any problems. I just want a refund. Because some of the things that was said on the pamphlet wasn't true when I came here. So I even showed the woman the pamphlet, and she calls her manager and she tells me, listen, just go to the gift shop and they'll talk about your refund. I figured that we were going to have at least a 10-minute conversation about the refund. But when I get into the gift shop, I ask for the manager, and the manager goes, "Yep, this is me." And I was like, "All right, about my refund." And she goes, "Nope, no refunds." And I was like, "But," and she was like, "No, refunds." I was just like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Like, is this the way you guys treat your customers? For real? Like, you don't have a smile on... She didn't have a smile on her face, nothing. She was just straight face. She was mean mugging. She looked like someone pissed in her cereal. And this is how you treat your customers. I was like, listen, I don't want no problems. I want my refund. I didn't use these things, and I have the pamphlet to prove that that you guys didn't even put any of that stuff into your pamphlet. She didn't care. Now this is where it gets juicy, because they only take Discover. I actually had a Discover card, so I was actually pretty happy with the fact that I had that, because I didn't have any cash on me. So we call up the card and we ask for, a refund, because the fact that, like, we didn't actually go into the park, and we pay for our bills on time. It's not like we were not loyal customers to Discover. But I guess it doesn't really matter at that particular point, because they said that they were locked into the same binding agreement. But when I first called, they actually gave me the refund. And then a week or two later, they said that they couldn't give me the refund, so they recharged me. I was pissed off,